Each week, Val and Amber predict what's ahead for England and the royal family. In the August 30th episode, Val predicts breaking news on the exact date.
Let's turn to Princess Catherine, September 9th. She might be planning something on television. She and Prince William are working together on it.
10 days later, on September 9th, a royal video drops. Last May 24th.
And maybe with their kids. There's that Six of Cups that always comes out.
On the September 6th episode, Val spots trouble for a royal.
The chart that I drew for this week, Mercury is right on that Regulus, the head. Royals should not be riding around on horses.
Hours later, a royal falls off a horse.
Welcome to Royal Revelations. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. It is Friday, September 20th, 2024. And thanks for joining me today live or on the replay. Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot is here with me today. We're so excited. And we've got some charts and cards that we're going to talk about and figure out what's happening for the week ahead, as well as the October surprise. So if you're just joining me for the first time, this show is all about how to make predictions in your life using various astrological charts. For ad-free content, click the join button and get our predictions with no interruptions. And a special thanks to all of the valedictorians, the members who make this content possible. We are live every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. BST. So, and I also wanted to mention, make sure to check out two of my books that are on Amazon, The Secret Career Code, to learn how to make predictions with your career and your job. And then also, if you're interested in crime, true crime, and astrology, you can go over to Amazon and get Forensic Astrology 101. And this is where you can find Amber at on YouTube at Taurus Moon Tarot 761. And if you're interested in a reading from either of us, you can go to the description box. And so we've got so much to talk about. But first of all, let me say hello to Amber first. Hey, Amber.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. We're glad that you're back. And oh, good. I'm glad. It looked like we didn't have anybody in the chat. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a quiet one. But thank goodness there were some people who came in. So
flowing in. Yay.
What I thought we could start out with, I mean, there's just so much news and so much depravity. I mean, it's like yuck. And so aside, putting the Diddy stuff all aside for a second, we had Mohamed al-Fayed. He just popped in the news, and it just occurred to me that we were talking last week and we were looking at the Evening Standard solar return chart. And how do we draw that? Well, we look at the birth chart you can even look at a newspaper if you want, and look at the solar return and see what might be coming up. I believe we were just talking about this. There was Black Moon Lilith there, and we were like, I wonder who this is. And there it is right there. And there was a drop. There's a scandal. It's obviously a scandal there. So Neptune is a scandal. It's right up at the top. And, you really couldn't tell too much about it, really. I mean, we have Virgo in the 4th and Neptune in Pisces. So it was just sort of like somebody, I mean, I don't know, is Mohamed al-Fayed? First of all, he's dead. Somebody who's passed, And I mean, if we looked at it long enough, we could probably figure out a few things, but I haven't read too much about what's going on, but it seems like a pretty sizable scandal. So
yes,
we were talking about Harry's solar return prediction last week. And by the way, you were doing some R&R, and in my mind, you went out to your location just to pick out new tarot cards for this show?
Well, it's funny you say that. I did go into a shop and I did find 2 decks that I really just fell in love with. And I wasn't going to use it today until maybe 20 minutes ago.
Angel D says, yes, all of the headlines, yucky, Arizona sunshine. Always good to have sunshine. It's feeling like fall where you are, though, right, Amber?
It is. I had a heating pad and now I have my hot tea.
Oh, we were looking last week and I pulled some cards and all of that. It looked like, see, Mars for him this year is ruling the 11th house of friendships, but it's also social media. And so we were thinking that maybe there's an evil friend of some sort. There's a T-square. And it's whenever you get a red triangle, there's trouble, And with Mars right here in Cancer, this is a lot of anger, a lot of things that are happening. Number one, that would make a person angry. There is it's an abusive person who's coming out, and it could be on social media, could be a friend. And I wondered, maybe you could give us some kind of insight on the description of this person.
Yeah, let's look. The interesting theme I had prior to us talking today was a lot of Aquarius, that 11th house Aquarius and internet, the King of Swords repeatedly, and then my Aquarius card. So I was curious to see if anything related to that. Wow. Well, this is an Aquarius card as well, the 5 of Swords, which is a fight. This is War of Words. And look, he has, he's stealing away with all of the swords, thinking he's a victor, but sort of with bad intentions, winning at all cost, essentially. But he's a redhead in this card, which is interesting. That we're asking
crazy. So it's almost like it could be Harry, but then it could be the friend or maybe he's fighting the friends or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is one more for the description. I honestly, this could be. I have the Sun, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. I don't know if he has a friend that he already fell out with. This feels like something that's from a while ago, that he might have some kind of resurgence of an argument or a dispute with someone that he already disconnected from. And I don't think it's William. It's friend vibe. Someone younger. Yeah, it could be another World card. Interesting. Lots of swords. One more. Yeah, it feels like someone from his past, like a friend that he already had a falling out with, that no longer speaks to him or he no longer speaks to them.
He better watch himself. And he's coming over to the UK. So that would make sense that maybe he's going to talk to this person. Joanne Smith says, I live not far from Sandringham. And that's great. We've got a correspondent here. And 80 Chenery. Hi, Val, Amber, and everyone. Love from New Zealand. Green-eyed love. You both are amazing. Thank you so much. And Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. And let's see. Teresa loves this show. Yes. Always great to start the weekend. Curious watcher. We get some really nice emails, and I think our show is almost like a signal that the week is over.
Yes.
So everybody's kind of relieved. Yeah. Natalie, nice to see you. Toy and Janie Doe. So, all right. Now let me get back here to. I'm going to move on. We've got that bombshell. First of all, can we talk about bombshells for a second? Now, I really didn't see pagers blowing up or bombs, going off twice. But how weird was it that thumbnail that I did for September, and it said 2 bombshells. And so in the meantime, these bombs are going off that were all orchestrated by Mossad. And then I think we have 1 bombshell so far in September for the royals. And that would probably be the whole Prince Andrew video that just dropped. And of course, I watched all of it, and it was pretty good. It's almost sort of like watching an extension of The Crown. It's like extra scenes. But of course, this is about people's lives, so we can't be too entertained.
But it is behind the scenes of the interview. Is that? What I'm
Yeah, it was kind of like the other one. I think it was called Scoop, but this
yeah.
was a little bit more in depth, and just the acting was so amazing. And it's starring Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen is, you may know him from a few things that he's done. He's a very good actor, but the one that I know him from is Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson, and he
Mhm.
plays the friend. And I couldn't believe the transformation. But anyway,
Yeah.
so we're talking about, I mean, the UK, England is talking about how this video is coming into play, and yet another thing that England has to deal with, or the royal family has to deal with.
Yeah.
But maybe they knew ahead of time, but it definitely, I would consider that a bombshell, because he's got to
Yeah.
go through all of this all over again.
Yeah.
And it's such a damning statement for me to make, because, nobody wants to hear that, because it's like, oh, boo-hoo, poor Andrew. And if you think about it, Virginia Giuffre,
Mhm.
she was abused from a very, very young age. And so she went through many, many, many years of having to deal with
Yes.
abuse. And so now we're seeing almost Andrew kind of, in a way, living out that long length of time of probably feeling his own type of abuse, but in this case, the media. So it's
Right.
almost like it's kind of like revenge, I think.
To
She gets
imagine.
revenge.
I would have to imagine the royal family would have known, what was coming.
Yeah.
And it did cross my mind that perhaps they had this very heavy front load in advance of it with the video with Catherine and William, and the Charles, so much with Charles in the news and the press, like this very, shiny sort of view of the royal family, like, positive, to sort of front load ahead of this, series coming out.
So true. So true. A
Yeah.
PR strategy.
Over here.
And yeah. Too bad that they didn't wait
Right.
till, maybe Monday or even today to, I guess that would have been too
Too
obvious, but they could
obvious.
have waited to drop that video, and then they'd all be talking about that. But
Right.
but who knows? Maybe we'll see something
Yeah.
in this next week that
Mhm.
is really, really positive for them.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Mm.
Steph, thank you so much. Joanne, Val, and Amber get so many things in the UK. Correct. Fingers crossed, something good for once, UK. And we're gonna look. We're gonna look.
Mhm.
Uh, Curious watcher. Yeah, that's pretty much what the video or the film was about. He never should have done that interview. Total PR nightmare.
Mhm.
So it was unfortunate. And this is, since we're talking about it, I thought that I would pull the chart for the time that uh, this
Mm.
photo itself. I mean, this is a photo that has been around for a very long time,
Yeah.
and that has been like almost like a nuclear bomb when it comes to the royal family.
Yeah.
And so I drew the chart, and I thought it was super interesting,
Mhm.
because look for that black moon Lilith, and there it is. And so this is a photograph, which is Neptune, and it's a bad photograph. It
Mm.
is a nefarious photograph that is going to cause harm. And who is it going to cause harm to? Look, there's Leo right up
There's
at the top.
Leo.
So that one bad photograph, boom, it comes down. So that was the picture of the sky when this photo was taken. So pretty amazing.
Wow.
And so much Aquarius there, and you could see that there would be something in the future that you could see whenever you see Aquarius, or
Mhm.
like a lot of planets in Aquarius or around Uranus. It kind of tells the future. And
Future.
so what does Uranus represent? It represents suicide. So we were going to see a suicide type of a theme there.
Yeah.
And then also, to give a little bit of depth when it comes to Epstein, you can see that Epstein is there, and the seventh house is partners. So they are partners in crime. Who's there? And I have that little arrow there with the flash of
Mhm.
light. That is Epstein taking that photo. And so you can see that Saturn on 25 Taurus, that's right on Algol, the devil degree. This is a devil partner,
Yeah.
and squaring Uranus at 22 degrees, the killer be killed degree. And weird how there would be Mercury there. So could be something that has to do with two different shocks.
Mm.
Um, it could actually be suicide. I don't know. There are a lot of people who don't believe that it was suicide. I'd be interested to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
But so interesting about how there is a partner in there, and that would be reflecting in the time that this photo was taken.
Could that Mercury be indicating more than one victim? I mean, it's a photo of a victim who later comes forward.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, like a group of victims. Or
Mhm.
it could be a group of partners, a group of devil partners that are
Right.
all around, the victim. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Mercury is so important because it's like, okay, more than one, twins. What are you talking about? Who's a twin? And
Yeah.
so there would be maybe twin cases or a group of cases around it.
Yeah.
And this is 2001. Okay. This is Prince Andrew's solar return chart. So Prince Andrew comes to us and says, I want you to read my solar return chart. So we take a look at this. And all of a sudden we're looking at the ascendant, which would start his birthday. So this is the first house would be February 18th to March 18th for him.
Right.
And the first house always is your first birthday month. And so we would look to where the sun is. She is sparring here. You're talking about revenge. Someone is very interested in making sure you pay for what you did. And there's a square to Saturn, which means a very, very, very long time. So
Yeah.
we don't like squares with Saturn, especially if it has to do with our, either our ruler, our
Right.
co-ruler, because that's us. That's us in our solar return chart.
Right.
Now, this I just wanted to show this real quick. This is really interesting. This is Fergie's solar return chart. I looked hers up for 1992, and she was she born? She was born in October. Okay, so that would make the 11th house when this photo was shot. Okay,
Mhm.
so that would be lighting up,
Yeah.
and you know probably what's coming next. The opposition with
Moon.
this horrible cluster of planets. We've got Black Moon Lilith, which is it's temptation, it's
Yeah.
depravity. It's going to be very famous. And with the moon, that is fame.
Yeah.
Famous. Neptune is photo. So this would be a very famous photo, and it would just absolutely shock everybody. And
Yeah.
it's in this T square here. So this would be probably a very difficult year, especially with all that Black Moon Lilith. So what I would say if I saw something like this, I'd be like, you know, this year, mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't go off to Spain or the south of France or wherever they were
Yeah.
with your financier friend.
And that year was Scorpio in the ascendant. And is that
Well,
her return?
this is
Oh, no, it's
Virgo.
Virgo.
Yep, Virgo. Yeah, you can't really see because it's dark, but it's Virgo. And exactly. So let me see here.
Mercury.
Yeah, so Mercury is here,
Yeah.
and she'd be pretty angry and
Mhm.
depressed. Look at how there's a square to Saturn. Also, it's the despair of the family. It's the
Yeah.
family stops because the fifth house is the family.
Yeah.
So this would be really tough. And the other thing too is her partner, which is Prince Andrew.
Andrew.
Prince Andrew is in there. He's in there. So he's completely shocked too, even though they have a good relationship or whatever. So interesting how, this is her 1991 chart because she hadn't had her birthday yet.
Right.
But you can see that she had already gone through this terrible energy. And so it was almost like she's able to help him because now it's happening to him. And that's another thing too with this solar return chart. You can see that their Venus is in Aries, which is a redhead.
Ah,
And you can also see there's a nice triangle there. So there's somebody who I'm sure she didn't know anything in 2001, I don't think. And I believe they were divorced at that point. But
yeah,
she would eventually, probably help him with all of this mess.
yeah.
That was one of the things that happened in the video on Andrew was you can really see Fergie, Princess Ferguson. Is she still a princess? You can Sarah Ferguson uh, kind of enabling,
Yeah,
and they kind of put that out there.
yeah. I
Okay.
remember those headlines. I remember that.
Yes, I
So
know. I
scandalous.
know. So scandalous. Okay, so we're going to get to Charles in a second. Let me just look at some of the
Mm.
comments. Sorry, I've been neglecting you guys. Um, yeah, Angel D says, I wonder what Andrew was expecting to come out doing that interview. And TJ says, hi, Val and Amber. I know you do, Angel. I give you a little bit of a royal accent, even though I've never been to London, so I have no business doing that.
Do it well.
Yes, I won't. I'll try not to say nuclear. Okay, yeah, they were trying to say that the pic was photoshopped, and it's impossible to tell. But
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to go there. I'm not going there.
Angel D asked
Especially-
if Prince Andrew is Sadi Sadi.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'd have to pull that one, but you would think when everything starts falling, it
Yeah.
is.
The weight of the world.
I
Yeah.
probably said it on an earlier show.
Yeah.
Now, Janie Dose is wondering if Andrew was friends with Epstein because of his circle of friends contacts made him feel important, as he too was just a spare. So, yeah, well said, because you're looking at the psychology, why people do things the way they do, why are they're compelled, and there's a whole bunch of reasons, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Heather, nice to see you. And okay, yeah, Janie, I'm with you. I have to admit, I really enjoyed the Inquirer back in the 90s and totally remember that headline, My Secret Indulgence. I know.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to have all of those, like stacks from years and years. And so when I go down the shore and, for the summer, I'd have a good old stack, and I just wonder and just kind of dream, what was it like to be in that life? Well, I'm glad that I'm not. I'm glad that I'm not. Now, this is a chart. As you guys know, I do a chart when I can, when I think of it, of the week ahead. Now, the last chart has not finished up yet. We still got the weekend. But this one is for midnight on Sunday for the next week. And we still got that Neptune at the top.
Yeah.
We've got Saturn there right on the MC. And the MC is for all to see. And this is, it's oil. It's, there's also some things that we get that are mundane events that don't necessarily have to do with the royal family. I'm sure that the royals are down here, and, I'm not seeing too much from this chart of like a royal player. It could be the sun. It could be the sun. We hope not, because it's at 29 degrees and opposing Neptune. But when you have an opposition or like a really tight square with Neptune, it usually shows that something or somebody is going to disappear. And so that actually might be a question for you. With tarot, sun in Virgo. Now, this could be that sometimes that's the messenger. It's a bird, but it could also be it could be somebody from the government, could be somebody from the royal family, but somebody is going to disappear this week. And sometimes it just means they go undercover, they go go in disguise, or we never see them again. So, what do you think?
Well, sometimes the sun, and it just popped into my head, all of the imagery that you just mentioned, but in addition, sometimes it can actually talk about children. Youth and, young children. So I don't know if that's in the chart, but that popped into my head because I pulled the sun card earlier in my original draw. So I'm just sitting here looking at this card, and that was what came out.
I think you might have called it because Virgo, it is ruled by Mercury, and that can be a small child. I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to clarify what this disappearance is related to. Oh, actually, this is interesting. I don't know if you can see this in the chart, but it almost feels like someone is found, or there's resolution or truth related to. The first thing that sort of popped into my mind was the little girl Madeline, the little English girl who disappeared in, I think, 2003.
Oh my God, yes.
McCann. Like someone like that, like a famous missing child is found. That's what I'm getting with this Ace of Swords and the Sun. One more. Death card. Like someone found deceased. I don't like saying that. Yeah.
I was going to say it could be a worker. Virgo sometimes is somebody who works. Sometimes it's a pet.
Yeah, with the death card, there's a horse. I don't know if the pet horse, they lose a horse.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
It does feel more, it feels more youthful or information coming out about a missing person.
Okay. Yeah. Sun at 29 is weak. It's somebody who's weak, who just goes away. But we do have some nice things though. Now this could turn into something positive, and this is unfortunately what I think it is just everyone seeing something. And this is super famous. Like Moon and Uranus is something, if anything, Moon conjunct something else, that thing is famous. And this could actually be some kind of maybe a scientific development that makes headlines this week. But with regard to, maybe the royal family or something like that, it looks like that there's something that's trying to help them. Sometimes when you only have an opposition, it's like you're just there, like nobody's helping you. But if you have these kind of, these blue lines, it's sort of like these people are helping you, they're encouraging you. It could be something social media where everybody's like, go, go, go. We know you can make it. It could be a swimmer, but I'm afraid to say it. I think it is a death because Saturn is right on the MC. And it is also squaring Jupiter in Gemini. And this could be a husband. This could be a husband. A husband goes bye-bye. And why do I say that? Because Jupiter's in the 12th. That means a husband disappears. And it's also squaring Saturn, which could be maybe, drowning. Oh, somehow he just disappears. So we hope that is not the case. Let's see. Now, what else do I have with this chart? Interesting how we were talking a few weeks back about how Black Moon Lilith is in Libra, which means musicians and groups and all of that. Right after that happened, Dave Grohl's information came out, being a bad boy, which is Black Moon Lilith. And talk about bad boy as in Bad Boy Entertainment and Record Company. That was P. Diddy too. And then, we're just seeing a lot of stuff about singers come out where there's some energy that they would really not like to be in right now.
And Justin Timberlake with his DUI and going to court and making this statement that did not land well, I think, in general. People were like, who do you think you are? Trying to school us on drinking and driving. And
yes,
he's always had a very good boy image, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. And since Black Moon Lilith is traveling through Libra, he's got a lot of Libra in his chart. So you just have to keep an eye on that if you're a Libra. And sometimes it can be good, if it's in a trine, it can mean you might have this secret strategy that works and people are like, yeah, yeah, let's do it. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's not illegal. But if it's in a square, it can mean some difficulty. We've seen it show up in different flavors. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Now that this is kind of typical with a transit progressed chart. Like if you look at yours, you look at your transit progressed, you're going to be like, "Oh my god," because there are going to be red lines. So
Yeah.
what we want to do is we just kind of want to pinpoint what we're seeing here. And yeah, Heather, you said act right, Libras, totally. Um, yeah, I'm wondering about the 28th of September, Travis and Taylor. Yes, the contract that they had. Another thing that was coming up in the music industry, where are these secret contracts? Are are our eyes being? I don't know. Is the wool being pulled over our eyes? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, then exactly. I mean, the list goes on and on. So that's really the energy that we're seeing right now is all of these musicians and really, really having some tough times. The sun there is in a huge trine with Uranus, and
Oh,
he's doing stuff. He's like going fast. He's like, okay, what else do we have to do? What else do we have to do?
mhm.
He's thinking about science. He's thinking about ahead. He's thinking about the future. He wants to be a futurist right now, and he can. He has that ability, and
Yeah.
that is giving him a lot of vitality at the moment.
Yeah.
The thing there with South Node, though, South Node is to say goodbye and to shed. So he's probably also trying to basically say goodbye to some things. Maybe it's a responsibility. Maybe it's people he doesn't need anymore on his staff. I don't know. But
Yeah.
what I'm looking at specifically is, yes, thank you, Heather. They're quincunx. And we have Saturn is going through a sixth house of work. So he's kind of, if you have Saturn going through your sixth, it's difficult. It's like you either can't get a job or you are tired and there, whatever reason, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not great. It's kind of like sadness of the
Yeah.
job.
Mm.
But what I'm thinking about, and we're talking, the whole theme here is October surprise.
Mm.
And that's what I want to ask you about because he's supposed to be traveling to Australia. So
Mm.
we would look at the ninth house for travel. And so there are two things that I would look at. I would look at Venus, which rules the ninth house of travel. And
Mm.
then I would also look at these two characters, whoever the heck these people are. Now, I don't know who they are, a lot of Gemini in there, but there's something here with a square to Neptune.
Mm.
So, first of all, Jupiter does rule Camilla. Okay. So, something where I can't imagine we wouldn't see her, but something is either disappearing or there's some kind of a scandal that's coming up.
Mm.
I think, let me see here. Oh, here's the other thing. Black moon Lilith right there, and it is squaring Jupiter in his ninth house. So,
Yeah.
are we going to have to deal with this, or is he going to have to deal with this Gemini character while he's abroad, if he goes abroad?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I want to know who that Black moon Lilith is.
Okay. And this is October
Hi, Marie. Yes.
time frame.
Yep.
2 cards. Hmm. I want to know who. Chariot card. Sign of Cancer. See, Queen of Cups. Camilla. I don't understand this, but that is my card for her. And then I got the confirmation with the Chariot card. Let me see what's on the bottom. This has a rewind and repeat energy. There's like a level of this female, I'm going to say female, feminine, I should say feminine person. Doesn't have to be a woman. With the Chariot, it doesn't have to be a woman. That is doing something again. He's going to experience something again, a second time with this person. And returning, he's returning to something. This is so interesting. I'm sorry. It's like a lot of information in just 6 cards. if he goes back, if they do go to Australia, I'm certain they've been there before. It might be a repeat of something previous to the place that he's been. It's the same place he's been before. It's the exact same. It's almost like a carbon copy of a prior trip or engagement or people that he meets with. But with the Five of Wands, you're right. It's like not going well. It's difficult. It's challenging. Maybe there is delay. Maybe the trip does occur, but it's delayed.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what this Chariot is, because that does indicate travel and vehicles of some kind, usually a car.
And Gemini, exactly.
Yeah. Five of Cups. This is, I don't love that. I don't love that at all about road travel.
Yeah. So what I guess I would say is just to be careful. It really looks like he should not be taking this trip. But I guess because of that sun trining Uranus, he's like, this is really, you guys don't get it. This is really important. We need to be down there. This is, we can't just pull out from this. So I definitely think that there's some conversations that are going on in the background there.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'm going to add that back here. And it's the Black Moon Lilith that bothers me. It's like, it could simply be a devious worker that decides that they're going to say something. There might be like somebody says something behind the scenes, or they at the last minute might call in sick, something like that. But I think that it's when Saturn moves over, transits over Black Moon Lilith, that's when things are going to get a little bit more intense when it comes to that energy. So we'll have to see what that is. And by the way, I wanted to mention too, the card that I pulled before I did the show was Nine of Cups, and it had to do, I was asking about King Charles's trip, and so it was reversed. So it seems like that could be a money or financial type of thing. And I wonder if there's some type of financial deal that's going on. If he goes to Australia, maybe they're negotiating something. I don't know if he even does that. But are you thinking that there might be some kind of a financial benefit to going to Australia?
The way I would read that, the first thing that popped into my mind wasn't necessarily financial, but what it was, I mean, the cups are certainly emotions and your internal, stability and self and your spirit and your soul. And in the reverse, to me, I read it like as a warning, and I heard the words, don't overdo it. So it's like, maybe he's being advised to not go or to delay. And that is not, really what he wants to do, or it's kind of a bit of a challenge. And it could be an advisor. The Page of Swords in reverse is someone who, this could be like a bodyguard, like a younger, not bodyguards, maybe not the right word, security or butler, footman, valet, something. And they are advising, this is too much. It's too much of a burden. You need to sort of let this one go. Or I feel like it's a warning of not to overdo it.
You got that before. And I remember we were talking about, I had come up with a funeral, and we were talking about it because it was in Prince William's chart, and you had gotten somebody that was younger. So I wonder if that still has to play out somehow. He did go to the funeral with his uncle, but maybe there's the second one that he's going to have to go to. But that is depressing. So I promised I wouldn't go there too much. Now, let's see. So there's Jupiter and the moon. This is something very famous, and it doesn't look good to me. It looks like, I mean, it could mean a security issue. It could mean a security issue. Okay. Oh, and the other thing too is Venus here rules his ninth house of travel, and Venus is here, and look at how it squares Saturn. And that's like the trip is either It's further pared down,
Yeah.
or the trip to Australia is canceled. So
Right.
that might be telling us something there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can see that.
Now we've got some eclipses that we're going to talk about, and we have for him coming up. This is really interesting. The solar eclipse for him is, and you can go to your own if you go to AstroSeek and you click on the full moon. It's a little orange tab once you put in your birth chart or birth information. The 19 here, and there's a little calendar that shows you when that is, but that's on October 2nd. This is the solar eclipse for him. It's really on that fourth house in Libra. It's relationships, it's home, it is something coming in for him that has to do with where he lives. So I thought I'd ask you about that, what that could possibly be. And we might see that coming in between October 2nd and, maybe 6 months or so from that date.
Yeah. Well, this could be all about Harry coming home. Wow. Or yes, this could definitely be something to do with, when is the Australia trip? I'm not sure, but I almost feel like he could be hospitalized for a short stint. The king could actually be in the hospital.
October 18th, he's supposed to go over there. So yeah, maybe he might go over and get a checkup or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It looks like Star in reverse, the 9 of Swords. I have the 9 of Wands in reverse and the 10 of Wands. So this is some kind of a revisiting of health, revisiting, not feeling well and needing to, maybe be admitted for a short stint, and that might delay the trip. That might be what's happening at home, or he could be at home under care for something. Let's see. Yeah, this is okay. And this is the decision, the 2 of Pentacles. This is like the decision of, am I well enough to do it? And, should I take this doctor's advice? There's a little bit of doctor energy around it. And the Star in reverse.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. And now we have the lunar eclipse that just happened, and this is in his 9th house. So this would be learning, teaching foreign lands. And that's not a good one. That's not a good one. We be careful. We tiptoe around that house when we see a lunar eclipse. So this, I think it could still mean something about his trip that he's dealing with. And I don't know, some kind of business there. We'll see. We already kind of asked about that. So, and so I wanted to look one more time at Princess Kate's solar return chart. Oops, I didn't do that. Yeah, here's the 9th house, and here's the lunar eclipse here. So that's kind of activating right now. So it's tippy toe. Now here's Princess Kate's solar return chart. For her, she's right here. She's still here. And then we're going to get into, so Mercury is ruling this month for her. So she's all down here.
Yeah.
Still, I think there might still be some issues with the Neptune, and yet another thing they've got to deal with when it comes to maybe photos. Maybe there still might be another photo type of fiasco. But then we come up to October 9th, and that is in Cancer. So you're kind of getting the same energy because you've got Mercury ruling this month. You've got Sun ruling the next month, and it's all down here in the 3rd. It's like, oh, get me out of this 3rd house for God's sakes. And it's just, but at the same time, this is when something comes in with regard to her career, I think.
Yeah.
And there is a nice little sextile here with part of Fortune. She might be looking a little bit better. She might be doing something that is, is, yet there's an opposition to her body. Okay, so she's trying to do a couple things at the same time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, there's, I really wanted to say something really positive, but I'm looking at this square here to Chiron, and she's still healing. It's still too early yet, I think. What can we ask the cards as far as October 9th to November 9th, what we can see for Princess Kate? Princess
Yeah.
Kate.
As you were talking, the first thing that comes up is the Six of Pentacles, which is work and philanthropy specifically, working with
Okay.
children, being seen. And, with the Nine of Cups, which I know you had earlier in reverse, but in the upright, this is good. This is like indulging in philanthropy and giving and charitable, activities. And she's happy. The Nine of Cups is a happy thing about it. The Emperor, she's in charge. She's taking control. It's working in her favor. There's the Wheel of Fortune. The only thing that's here is that there's financial potentially setback. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So I don't know if that's connected to her work, but it looks like she's going to be public and working and happy about that. If anything, with relative to her, visible appearance, there might be stories and, things like that, or photos that have to do with weight gain, that she's looking healthier, because this can be someone who gains weight. Nine of Cups can be, indulging too much.
Oh,
So
that
she
would be
might
good. That would
look
be
different,
good.
look better. Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
But, can we tell if there's going to be any exchange between her and Harry? It seems like she's working behind the scenes to make this all happen, at least between Charles. I mean, in
Yeah.
her mind, she's probably like, let's work on Charles first.
Yeah.
I think she sure looked upset when they were walking all from wherever they were walking, and it was Queen Elizabeth's the
No.
second's
Yeah.
funeral. Kate wanted nothing to do with that little foursome, you could tell.
Oh,
But
yes.
maybe she's warmed up to some degree, I don't know. Can you tell us what is really her feeling about Prince Harry coming back into the fold?
The first two cards, as I was asking that question when you were talking, working secretly behind the scenes, collaborating with other people. The Three of Pentacles, the Moon, it's something you don't see on the surface. So she might be making, these
Okay.
accommodations and collaborating, but it wouldn't be, she's doing it not in secret, but I guess that's maybe the right words, in secret, privately.
Okay.
How does she feel about it? I would say she feels hopeful. Knight of Cups, that he will come forward with a olive branch or, cup of something positive. But then, this pops out and I'm like, well, this tells me he might refuse, or he may not, or he may be delayed. Two of Wands in reverse, like not long distance travel. This is, staying where I am, not moving, not budging from it.
Interesting. That could be Will.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to take a long time for him to warm up. There's going to really need to be, and I think there was an article that came out in the past few days, and it was written by a Brit who was like, we need more royals, So they're like, just get Harry over here, whatever, we need another one. So that's the thinking, I guess, for some people who live there. And let's
I
see.
wish we could see the king with Harry's children. That's one of the things that I would love to see.
I know.
Yeah, I think that's one
that
of
would
the
be nice.
parts of that.
King Charles certainly seems like he is in great spirits because you see him laughing. I don't like him posing with a lot of people in black, which just happened. Not my favorite.
Yeah.
But, that's the energy that he's dealing with right now. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to go back to get us some good news here. And let's see. There's certainly some drama with that Venus squared Saturn there, right here. I don't know what that is. It is somebody in the third house. This could be a sister, could be because the third house.
Yeah.
And hold on. Oh, did I just go past it? Okay. So let's get some good news here. What are we going to see besides a lot of videos that we didn't want to see are coming out? I
Yeah.
mean, this is the devil here. The famous devil photos, oil, scandal. Oh, we're going to see it all. It's already happening. It's like an avalanche. But as far as good news, let's see here. Well, the moon is ruling the chart. And so that's always good. And it's in some really nice trines here. It's in the 11th house of hopes and dreams, of friendships, of maybe not partnerships, but friends.
Right.
So famous friends, something that has to do with friendships and social media. I think, I think it might have something to do with medical news. I really do, because Neptune is doctors. There could be something that has to do with that. So I guess for our last card, can you pull something that is positive that's going to happen for the UK this week?
This week, yes. Oh, wow. Well, that's actually very nice. This is interesting because this is very Neptunian. The Chariot, the 10 of Pentacles, and the this is sort of I'm getting like an idea of like financial, like sort of across for like a tax break, or people get some kind of relief that's unexpected, or it looked like it was going to be this way and now it's actually very positive. Something is being pushed forward. It could be something that is giving people more control or power in some way. And it's a battle won. It's a battle over that is won. Financially and forward movement, and people having more individual control.
And with the Neptune there in the chart, it almost makes me think maybe it's medical benefits or something really good coming to the citizens.
Yes.
Might not be, but maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, I think it's something that might have been viewed as confusing or not exactly what people would hope for, sort of has a turnabout that puts some power and control back in their hands financially.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to do something, because right now it's just everybody's scared. They don't know if they're going to be able to afford, heat. So Janie Doe, it's possible. I think there's going to be hopefully some good news for them. And I wanted to answer Kathy. It's a very interesting question. Would my chart be like Charles? I have the same birthday, the 14th of November. Well, of course, it would have to be around, it would be have to be the same year for you to get some of those. I mean, I know somebody who is born very close to King Charles, and they're also having health problems. So there are some things that you can see that you can compare, definitely.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. Your chart ruler is probably going to be different, because that changes every few minutes. And I guess you'd have to really look at it and compare it with King Charles. And
Janie Doe, I would say yes. To your question, it could be very much exactly that, because as she asked that question, this card came out, and that's that Six of Pentacles. This is giving to less fortunate. This is, giving financial things like that.
Right. So the bad news is you're going to have to watch all of those terrible videos. Maybe if you feel like going online, but the good news is maybe you'll get some money. So that would be great. Yes, Angel D. I hope they do too. Hey, Darlene. And Angel D. Janie Doe, how disgusting was that? Vote in a new government, and they do that. I know it. Everybody's up in arms, and I think the tide will change. So we're hopeful. But well, thank you so much, Amber.
You guys have a great weekend.
All right. See you soon.